Hello, board members. How we doing this fine Puzzle Sunday? Well, I hope. As it is, in fact, Puzzle Sunday, we are going to be jumping back into and potentially finishing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. I'm pretty excited, team. I'm curious to see what the final reveal is going to be. They've been legitimately building to a kind of shocking conclusion, and I'm very curious to see what that's going to actually turn out to be. That's about the only thing I'm really looking forward to with this. Well, I'm happy they're at least waiting and giving her a day to recover. Thank God they actually listened to me for once. February 10th, 2:56 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1. Truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day, and we didn't even have a chance to talk. She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up in this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? Huh? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister? I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from our father either. Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini. It was like a mother to me. If only Dolly had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her. Dolly was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. What? But, as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up... That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people? You must mean, yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, which they did talk about and I had put together, they haven't explained how he's in court now and why he's wearing the helmet, other than he said he got really messed up in a past life or whatever. So unless someone's actively channeling him, or he just means that the poison didn't actually kill him like we were told it did, and instead just really messed up his body, I guess. I even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You. That's right. Iris, there's one more thing that I have to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least them all, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. Beep. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Exactly. Beep. We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? How? Okay, sure. It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. Wait. What? That's not the murder weapon, is it? So wait, this is the murder weapon? She was stabbed with her own sword cane? The staff that Mr. Gleese always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff? Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. It is? Oh. So then I guess then the blood on that dagger is going to turn out to be like Maya's or something? But why? Why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the shikashuma. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. I see. Victim staff updated in the court record. Defendant. Yes? The judge is calling you. He wants you to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you. Don't you blush at me. Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me. So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning? Phoenix. Hi, Mia. Mia? How is Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. I see. You don't mean she learned who Elise Damon really was? Yes, I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. Trial is about to restart. The real killer, do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who it called her, but still. So... at this point... I don't think Pearls would have been able to... So my other thought process is that now that Morgan Fay actually did kill herself, like was implicated in the message, and someone channeled her, maybe Pearls accidentally, maybe she got into Pearl's body and then used Pearl's body to stab Misty Faye, so out of like hatred or whatever, like blind rage or something. Maybe just maybe, I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the Inner Temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of the Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. And one more thing, the victim was moved to the Hazakura Temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the Inner Temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. Right. So it's Pearls whose mother was inside of her own body, I guess. Yeah, that's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win, or lose. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. Why? Because it's more dramatic that way. Oh man, if it turns out that Pearls did the murder because she was possessed by the spirit of her own mother. how do we tell her that one? That's really interesting. February 10th, 3:36 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Also, has no one put together that Godot is Armando? Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we found. Wait, sorry. I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. Tests? Yes, tests. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree? Zane's the murderer? Now that would be an interesting twist. Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or due to the time constraints, a full test wasn't possible? However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Okay. It was a red herring? Fair enough. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? Dagger updated in the court record. Found stuck in a pine tree in Inner Temple Garden. The blood doesn't match the victim's. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly. Or just give her a day to recover. Agreed. No, red herring from a pup named Scooby-Doo. Oh, red herring from a pup named Scooby-Doo. Oh my god, what a pull! Oh my god! Oh my god! I have not thought about that in so long! Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god. I have not thought about a pup named Scooby-Doo and a red herring in so long. Oh my god. Wow, what a pull. Ice the Unknown Ranger. What a pull. Are you a Scooby fan? Red herring. God, right in the nostalgia? Oh my god, yes. A pup named Scooby-Doo was the weirdest, like, official continuation of like, that, of the original Scooby-Doo. Oh my god, what a pull. What a pull. Dang, it was red herring from a pup named Scooby-Doo. I don't even remember who red herring from the show was, but that name sounds familiar. Like the gag. Like I can picture little Freddy saying, "It was red herring," or whatever. I caught the show on Cartoon Network when I was a kid. Same. Wow, what a pull. Very well. Please bring in the last witness. We could just wait like a day or two to give her... I mean, we're not in a hurry. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is... I'm the assistant manager at the Wright & Co. law offices. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Quran channeling technique? I'm frightened. The Fae clan, I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, Maya. The pain of the Fae bloodline cause it must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fae. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. Maya is totally PTSD'd out of her mind right now with magic. She is so done with magic forever. Poor dear. Yeah, she is broken right now. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple, and you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise DeMol's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But I'd hit him. I would hit him with I would jump into the audience and grab a chair and hit him in the face. PTMD? Post-traumatic medium disorder? But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. Can we get an objection badgering the witness, maybe? Can we get any kind of defense of this completely battered, exhausted woman whose body was used in a series of crimes against her own will? Like, what? Okay. Let's have zero care for the victim. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witness come and out and seen a squeeze the truth out of them? No. Because it's been explained that when the spirit is in the body is unconscious and not aware of its surroundings. So she doesn't actually know about the stuff that's been going on since she's been possessed by the spirit. Unless they're going to change the canon, in which case they're cowards, and I've already said that. So he's trying to be encouraging, actually. Yeah, but he's bad at it. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. At the Inner Temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me?" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. What? So you were struck on the head? I suppose it must have been this staff? Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Please give the woman tea and burgers. I mean, yeah, she loves burgers. And the tea would probably just be nice. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Ha. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. Seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through this testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look very well at all. At the Inner Temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Spare prep room? Who else was on the inner temple side of that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. I mean, she couldn't be the criminal. Oh, right, he fell off the bridge. But he actually saw her on this side of the bridge before it was lit on fire, or after it was lit on fire. So we have double proof she couldn't have been over there at the time. Maya kind of is the assistant manager, though, to be fair. Well, that's not wrong. It's just, it's really unfortunate how messed up she is right now with the magic stuff. As Ika said, PTMD. Post-traumatic magic disorder. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said? Well, let me think. She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. And she was assaulted. And she probably hasn't eaten in like a day and a half. True? Yeah. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. Hold it! Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind. You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do? Can we, like, press her and have her have, like, a heart attack and die? And here you were trying to blame this sweet, adorable little old lady. What? Oh, listen. With all of the infighting and stuff inside of all these families, and the fact that Sister Bikini is directly related to these people, there's absolutely no reason that she couldn't have been involved. who has tried her best to be helpful. We assume. We hope. Okay. Pressure harder! Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it. It was dark? It's not good to have too much light around when someone's undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime. Which is why she didn't see her attacker. Thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by Elise DeMaul, Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. Hold it! What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape. I think? You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time. Well now, this is beginning to get interesting. So what were the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory? I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was? That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So did she think she was going to get I mean, it's a very Maya thing to think she was going to get amnesia because she got hit in the head. But no, that's not really how that works. So what did you do then? I think I screamed, "Help me?" Hold it! You think you screamed, but you're not sure. Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark, I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. I don't know what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details? My last hope. She saw Phoenix get amnesia after he was hit with the fire extinguisher. I guess that's fair. I mean, we are running off of soap opera logic, and soap opera logic says that any head injury will cause amnesia. Or a full-on personality change. Which, personality change is actually more likely probably than amnesia. Amnesia is pretty rare. My last hope. Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope? Huh? What? I said what? Look. You were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me." Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like what you do. Wait. That's like what you do call it when that happens. I was not doing so well up there. Oh, yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to help. For help. What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? Ha. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. Nah, I hit him with my car. He would be going out into the parking lot and I'd hit him with my car. The 1 + 1 = 2 is weird though. That is a little strange. I mean, maybe she's just trying to like make sure she remembers how to do math or something. I don't know about that one. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Wait, you said the lantern was out. What? I think I screamed, help me. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. A man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see? She used this excuse twice now. Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say, under the lantern, darkness it rains. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker, who was closer. Plus, there wasn't any other light source in the garden at the time. What? Then something warm splashed over me. Hold it! You don't mean, was it... I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood? She's saying that when Miss Demal, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer. At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness. So what happened next? I don't remember. How were you saved? Do you remember that? No, I haven't gotten any idea. I really don't know what happened at all. That's too bad. I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. Right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. I was passing through the gardens on the way to the square prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. A spare prep room? What? Is there a... I mean, I guess there's that building out front. Okay. Stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, help me. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. She also doesn't have the energy to hide anything very well right now. Oh, you know what? I bet she... Hold on. Do I have... Morning where Lisa Demal was murdered. And the morning after the crime. I bet the man she saw was one of those statues. Remember there's those 4 statues of men in front of the cliff? Like facing towards the inner temple? So maybe she saw one of those? Because the only other man that was there was Larry. I mean, I don't know. Let's see, then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Do I have... Someone in the crane trajectory. Prosecutor is shrouded in mystery. He seems to know me somehow. Something warm splashed over me. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. I think I screamed, help me? Stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. Was it like the lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime? They weren't very big and she wouldn't have saw them from there? Yeah, I don't know what else the man thing could have been, and that's the only thing I can think of is she saw the in the distance because of the lantern thing. I couldn't see a man behind me at the night of the stone lantern. Okay, so the contradiction has got to be that this lantern wasn't lit, right? So there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elisa DeMont, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, the stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee, sir. Stir. This is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe a latte. What? A cup of cafe au lait? What? Cafe au lait? Cafe au lait. Oh. Is that even legal? What? Mr. Tright's words are the milk and you are the spoon. Your Honor. I'm a spoon. I'm no spoony bard. I'll have you know? You must have noticed it too, Trey. This witness' mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Objection! Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. But they were very big, and she wouldn't have... Okay. They'd hardly be murder, though. That'd be a justifiable defense of another. Well, yeah, in real life, but we're running off of stupid clown logic from a soap opera. Like, soap operas love to turn anything that could be a crime into a crime for the purposes of drama, even if it doesn't make any amount of sense. A la this whole module. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, or an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. Oh no! That's her attack from the mattress. Order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? I always love that as the thing that's a crime, removing the tag from a mattress. Have you ever actually read that? Has anybody actually gone and read the tag on their mattress? And like read what the warning is and what that law is about? It's pretty funny. It's mostly that you're not allowed to remove it until the mattress is sold. That like the vendor who sells the mattress can't remove this for whatever reason. I don't remember the reason now. So the joke that you can never remove a tag from a mattress is only true if you're the vendor who's selling it. But whatever. It's just one of those weird laws. Is that even a thing? Yeah, it's only illegal for the manufacturer. Exactly. The person selling it, the person who's making the mattress, they can't remove that tag, but the owner of the mattress who bought the mattress can remove it. Is that even a thing in other countries? Is that just a U.S. thing? That very much feels like a stupid U.S. policy. Order. What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection!
Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. Objection! Probably for consumer protection reasons. I would assume so. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. Something probably of like, if this is removed, assume the mattress is used and not new or something. There's some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Huh? Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? Is There's like one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Ha. Talk a good module, Trite. Let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. I have absolutely no idea what's happening. Like, there's apparently some mystery man? Is it gonna turn out to be like her dad or something? And I doubt they'd go to jail, just face fines or something like that. Yeah, it wouldn't be like a prison offense, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't read it in a long time. I just remember it's illegal for the vendor, not the person who owns the mattress. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy, the man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the law. I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? The #1 liaison office studies foreign judicial systems now. Who is this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? So wait, is it the woman she saw, or was it the guy she saw? Because the only other guy that was there was Lawrence, Larry, right? But there's corroborating evidence that he was at Heavenly Hall. What? Miles Edgeworth wasn't there until the next day. Okay, maybe they mean who was the person that you saw Miss Faye? Who was the person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? It was a man? I must have missed a line. It looks like you've proven a well-known fact. The fact that people really can't see in the dark. Or, man, I thought you were. Try a nice sweet cafe au lait at least. Okay. Okay, so it wasn't... What? So who's the man that she saw? Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let anything get away with it. Like, I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Photo, prime photo, track photo. Well, I mean, she would recognize her own sister, right? And it wasn't Pearl's. I guess, could it have been Larry? Yep, Edgeworth was asleep in another country at the time. Yeah, that probably eliminates him from the poll. It couldn't have been Larry, could it? Is that why he's been so nervous? Take that! Looks like you've proven okay. She saw a man in the darkness. Tell me who that was. for a temple. People. See before the lights out. Rescue bridge photo taken in the morning after the crime. Murdered at main Rescue Bridge. Manfred von Karma's daughter. It's not Larry. It's not Pearls. There was a man there. I can't even present myself. I'm not on the list. A word from our president on the rodent catching division. Meow. What? I can tell you the person is a man. I have a word from our president of the rodent catching division. Meow. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that means your cat is doing good. It is a man. But it's not Larry. Do I have evidence of a man? No. So if it's not Larry. Is it Godot? She is? Well, that's good to hear. Take that! Oh, because of his glowing eye cover? Is that what he was busy with so he couldn't come to court the next day? Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible. Yes. What? But how do you propose to do something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. And if you remember, Godot was strangely absent yesterday. Yeah, he was gone the next day. That's why Von Karma had to do the prosecuting that day, and then he showed up the third day. I guess because he was stuck on the island and then somehow snuck across? What? What? This is... But it can't be. Ha. That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order, order, order. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Ha. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night, was it 3 glowing red lights? Also, remember Mia was his girlfriend? Wait, what? When was that brought up? He flirted with her a couple of times, and she kind of flirted back a little bit, but I don't remember them ever directly mentioning they were dating. I don't remember that part. And it was 3 glowing red lights. Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya. I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. What? It's not stated, but it's very heavily implied. Oh, okay. Stop your chattering. Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Just hit this guy with something, please, for the love of God. Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you know the killer was a man. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... The killer. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place was totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. What? Grocery mentioned that Mia's boyfriend was the one poisoned? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that, but that was a very long time ago for me. God, that would have probably been a couple of, like, 2 months ago or something, at the way we've been going through this. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor, No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. I don't know anymore. I don't care. I'm just going to let this play out. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training floor. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed. And then the person that carried you into the inner temple could only have been the killer? That's what I think, too. So the carried Mile into the inner temple. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide? I don't know. Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. That's why Godot acts weird when Mia is channeled. Yeah, he seemed a little off, but I mean, we know that they have a history. I just didn't realize they were actually dating. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. What was that noise? Oh, I thought I heard something. Okay. The torches were lit. Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let me hear some more about the conditions of the crime scene. All the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There was a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. What? It's a shovel. What are you talking about? An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I could think of. Didn't you say that that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. The killer just wanted to hide the snow with the blood on it. There was no need to remove that amount. That's true. He could have scooped up the snow that was stained with blood. Okay, so that's how they're explaining the red thing. Is that he couldn't see the blood on the snow because he can't see red because of his weird laser vision. And that's why this got left on there, is because he didn't realize there was blood written on this. So he just had to clean it all up and hope he got it all. Looks like there's some mysteries behind this issue, but I think it will explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? Yes. But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene, working with Dahlia Hawthorne? Because he also worked with Dahlia and Iris for some reason? But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knew more than she's letting on? When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. Explains why he couldn't see the ketchup stain on Maggie's apron in the third case. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Empty, I was just standing there on the training room floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place was totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. All the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. The person did all that at work, I assumed it was a man. Oh, wait, I have to ask. The torches were lit and the body was gone. When we got back to the garden, the place was changed. Was it this one that I had to ask again? Must have done it right. Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? It must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it? No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. They did it for your sake? Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right? Yes, I suppose that's true. Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some of the other problems too. If the real identity had come out outright then, it would have been trouble, or it would have been terrible. Massacring, killed my own daughter? I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? The torches were lit and the body was gone. Okay, I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. So what's they want a contradiction in this? I mean, it's gotta be this, right? The stone lantern? Because it still has Maya written on it? Yeah, that's gotta be what it is. For my sake. So why leave Maya on this? I'm gonna try it blind. Yes! Alright. The bloody Elise Damon was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that was suspected was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh? And what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in the blood on the lantern. Huh? It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. Aha. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Ah, you're right. Order. But, Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the blood stain, and then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection!
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body or remove all the snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was. It's the fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well, yeah, it's because Godot can't see red. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in the blood on the lantern? Killer wrote it to pin the crime on Maya. The killer didn't notice it. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred. If that's the case, then they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. Who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Oh. What? What? I think I'll leave some bloody writing when I die, too. Right, left. What? They have no idea what you're talking about, do you? Apparently I misclicked there. I don't know what just happened. I must have hit E instead of R. Hey, Trite. You can play after the trial is over. I'm sure I'm on the right track. I've just got to think more carefully about all that's happened up to this point. With one person involved in this incident could have missed seeing the blood. Okay. Profiles. Thank you. This guy. Jeez. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern. There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just a minute. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Très. This is the apron of the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. And someone spilled coffee on. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play modules, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. Don't tell me anything about a bloodstain. So we can't see Phoenix's tie. Oh, well that's pink. He might be able to see it, but if he can't see shades of red, he might think Phoenix is being unprofessional and not wearing a tie to court. I even wear a tie on stream, and this is real. This is an honest-to-God tie. I tie this tie. It's not even a clip-on. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. Huh? I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Doe is the murderer? But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Dumont. also known as Misty Faye. Hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Ha. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. So, in Japanese, black tea is kocha, which roughly means red tea. Oh, it's a translation thing? I see. Yeah, that's probably a really hard one to translate correctly. That's a really specific kind of thing to translate. Also, wouldn't he not want to work with Dahlia and Iris, given that Dahlia was the one who poisoned him and killed him? Maybe? Yeah, it's probably a tea joke, but it's also specifically like a Japanese tea joke, so it's really hard to translate that over. You don't fill out the incident in red ink. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? All will be explained. Oh, okay. Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. Objection! I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is Rich. Go on, Wright. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take out just that area? Ah, could it be... Can't see the blood on the snow. Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. You would have been able to see just fine. It seems... Now, once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Hold it. Wait just a minute. Maya? What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed. Objection! Maya. Huh? You can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I mean, take a look. Eek! After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Well, her body was possessed by the ghost, right? So, are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. But please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Huh? Maya? Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Ha! Nicely done, Trite. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the Inner Temple, too. After the incident. Okay. Wow, it's already 6 o'clock. Why will this not end? Pearlie was also stuck on the Inner Temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. It's almost over. I know we're super close, but man. Who is this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath. Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot? Let's just move on to the cross-examination if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. I love that at this point Phoenix is like, okay, you want it real rough, huh? I guess we're gonna do this the hard way. I'm just gonna take you both apart right here in the courtroom. Like, just it's full like, all right, I'm trying, but you're just fighting me every step of the way. The hard way it is, team. Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. So where did you think Pearl slept that night? In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training. But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place? Seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya. She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Demont. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end. Well, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times. The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room. And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it? There's a storage shack, too. Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a strange shack all that carefully? Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate. So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack? The next day, when this bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge? What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Oh, well, Pearly said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night, she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. Poor little girl. All alone like that. Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern, Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her. She wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. So it was your first time on the inner temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touche, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass. We had never visited Hakazura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? You want to say something, Trite? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. Well, I cross-examined Maya, that is. Probably for the best she didn't see Pearl? Yeah, that probably could have gotten real weird. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the inner temple side, right? Yes, then Mr. Godot. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up. He cheered her up? That's what Pearly said. She said she was very nice. She said that he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really begging to get on my nerves. Beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. Truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the inner temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation of my own way, Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. Dahlia has shown she doesn't care a bit at this point. Maya actually may have actually died if she did. Maya might have actually died if she did. Dahlia has shown she doesn't care a bit at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how they would have done it, because the kind of the rules that they're playing with these ghost powers are a little fast and loose. But that's what I mean, like, things could have gotten really weird if Dahlia had actually seen Pearls there. Because then she would have realized she wasn't in Pearl's body like she thought she was. She's actually in Maya's body. Then she realized, oh, that's not good. Probably would have left, got into Pearl's body, and then probably would have actually killed Maya. But hard to say. We're so close to the end. Cheering Pearls up. Godot's investigation. Okay, tell me about your investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation on your own. Did you find anything? Looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Wright. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. What? Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western taste? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? So from there you headed for the prep room? No, she might have just had Maya unalive herself. That's true. I guess there's no reason she couldn't have. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Again, I don't know what the rules are for the ghost thing. Apparently they can just do whatever they want while they're in their body. I don't know. That seems incredibly dangerous. So from there, you headed for the prep room? Wait a second. What did Godot just say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Damal. Yeah, because he wouldn't have seen the poster because the gravy was already on it. Yeah, it's not safe in the slightest. No, it seems like it's terrible. Pearl was also stuck in the inner temple side that night. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her up. Wait. The next morning she was stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning she looked around, couldn't find anyone. Today when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. She looked around and couldn't find anybody. So stuck on the inner temple side that night. Is it because of this? Or this? The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Let me ask about the cheering up, I guess. You cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking over the go. Okay. Okay. What about cheering Pearls up? So you cheered Pearls up? When I found that little girl, the first thing she asked about was her cousin, Maya Fey. Really? The bridge had burned down and she was huddled up in that tiny shack with no heat. Even though she must have been a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said anything about herself. Pearlie. I noticed that you weren't anywhere on the inner temple side. But I couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth. What a sweet story. Sniffle. A thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Damal. Curly was stuck on the inner temple side that night. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. Wait, didn't he just say she was... I'm Pearly first and cheered her right up. Hey, I had my first cup of coffee when I was 8. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I hate coffee, so more for you, Ice the Unknown Ranger. So the only thing I can think of temple is we need to use the gravy thing now. I don't know what else we would have other than the burnt note. After the crime. Found in the garden of the inner temple. I guess because it's red, even though it has yellow all over it, I guess he couldn't see that either. I don't know. And cheered right up. Mr. Godot arrived. Okay, so what is...
Did it, Patrick! We saved the city!
Okay. What's that for, Unknown Ranger? Are you just happy that you get all the coffee? Altair was shrouded in mystery, seems to know someone. Maya's cousin and channeling prodigy was found at the inner temple. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. Oh, wait. The next day when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. This morning she looked around but couldn't find anyone. It was also stuck on the inner temple. She mentioned that Pearly knows not to go in there, but we know she did because she threw the gravy up against the picture. Next day when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time.
Hold it!
Girls didn't hear this work on the bridge. At the bridge. Oh, well, Pearly said that she was sleeping at the time. She said she was not scared during the night, and then woke up a bunch of times. There was one friend of the escaped cavern, Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick clock. She couldn't let anyone see her. She wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? Next morning, Pearls was stuck on the... So where did you think Pearl slept that night? In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte training. But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place? It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya, and that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elisa Damal. I don't know, I was just curious what that did. Oh, it's a SpongeBob reference. So, it almost feels like the correct answer is right here. We need to say the gravy thing, even though it's completely out of context?
Objection!
No, I guess it's not. Looked around but couldn't find anyone. Find anyone the next day when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. Unless it's the note. Would you ever watch the anime? Yeah, I'd watch some of it just to see how if they do a better job with it than this is, but I doubt it. I'm assuming it's just a direct one-to-one translation. I was stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, couldn't find anyone. Which was why they figured she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. We found Pearly first and cheered her right up. This image obscured by gravy. The modules are better, but I still like the anime. I think also it would probably fill out the word a little bit. Oh, wait. Maybe since it says this is the first time he was there, he would have seen this. Okay, that's what it was. All right. I knew it was the stupid poster. I wasn't sure where we needed it. I didn't know if we were calling fakies on Pearls or we were calling it on the claim that he hadn't been there. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Huh? Why do you say that? The anime feels more rushed plot-wise. Well, yeah, I'm assuming they probably had some limitations on number of episodes and stuff. I mean, it's a lot more expensive to make the anime than it is to make one of these. They use basically all but like the still photos for most things. Because he just made it one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot was right. The scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime... How can he smell it through a photo? Okay, whatever. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there? Super smell. I can smell through photos. True, but Mr. Godot described was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Oh. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one little thing? Try it. What is it? This whole theory of yours. It all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Huh? Of course Mr. Godot knew about that plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew that plan? I assume he was the one who read it once before? I do hope that someday make the Apollo-adjusted trilogy into an anime. I'd like to see that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Anime is weird.
Take that!
This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the inner temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit, Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. It's not in the works as far as you know, but one can hope? You never know. Maybe if the Trilogy just came out on PC, so maybe if it does really well, maybe they'll think about turning it into an anime. Order, order, order. Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. I hope so, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Sorry for always asking, what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through this kind of trouble to protect her. I guess because it's your ex-girlfriend's little sister? I am what you see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. Objection! However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya. I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh? No one here speaks coffee? No. Okay, try it. I'm all ears. Let's hear it. Again, I think I know what's supposed to happen, but the module can get a little finicky sometimes. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. Well, that's Mia for sure. I like coffee, but I don't speak it. That's fine. You don't have to become a beatnik and enjoy coffee. Like, just enjoy your coffee and don't worry about what this idiot is talking about. Take that! It's Mia. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey? You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your Honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man, who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Flawless killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Flawless killed himself. Mia? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. So it's official, the hood doesn't work. Yeah, no, as soon as I thought it was the cop from the first one, because they have a very similar physical appearance. But once they revealed that this guy existed, because we had not seen him in either of the two other modules, it was pretty obvious. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspaper at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. Just keep on lying, baby. Just keep on lying. We just keep lying to the player, and we can change anything we want whenever we want. It doesn't. What are rules? No one cares. We just make up the rules as we go along. God. I meant the hood doesn't seem to protect against evil spirits. Oh, yeah. Well, the hood doesn't protect against. Well, well, let's see. Well, Iris didn't have hers, right?
Screw the rules, I have money.
Exactly. I am the rules. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Oh, God. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. Oh. I almost did it again. I have had to fight back cussing this man out so many times. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? The worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. For the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. The woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha, good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days. What? It was 5 years, bud? What are you talking about? There were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. When I asked, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Wright. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. What? Huh? You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault. Okay, yeah, he's detached from reality, so... It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were. But that's why you became a prosecutor? My other reason for living, She goes by the name of Maya Fey. Huh? You mean me? Yeah, his logic is flawed. There's a term for that kind of thing. I can't remember what it is, though. Yeah. It's like projecting, but there's another term for it. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, we're the only one I could make... You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Koran Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. As I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya. She never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contracted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Phoenix didn't even know about Red, White until after Mia's death. Yeah, and Mia certainly wouldn't have told him about what she was doing. No. He had no way of knowing. The only way he could have helped out was if he just happened to be there by complete chance. It's like, it's not, I think it's projecting, but basically he's sad that he wasn't there to save her, and now he's projecting his anger about that onto Phoenix because he needs somewhere to put that anger so he's not mad at himself as much. I think it's kind of that, but there's another term for it. Accomplices. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl. And yeah, he is projecting 100%. Okay, that is what it is. All right. Backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. Did? What? When was the government brought in? Wasn't it specifically that it was odd that she was brought into the police as a last resort? She said that the Master of Crane had great authority. Even at her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Okay, whatever. Phoenix did literally everything he could. Yeah, he did. There was nothing more he could have actively done. It would have had to have been complete luck. And even then, he would have had to have hoped that he was able to physically stop Red Blue or Red White or whatever his name is, because the guy was huge compared to Phoenix, who is a very slender man and has zero physicality capabilities. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use the sword to protect you from Morgan Fey, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother? I don't know if that's the term you were looking for. It just meant he is projecting his guilt on Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix can occasionally do physical feats, but he is not a fighter. Yeah, like we talked about, he's only really, really good at beating up doors for some reason. I didn't think about this use, but for the big blocker monster, I can special summon if my opponent goes first, and still use it as a material for just a summon or just another monster on the field to attack. Yes? You're talking about the one that you can bring in if there's 3 monsters are played in a single turn? Are you talking about that one, or is this a different thing you're talking about? That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls? Don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we mentioned that. There's every chance, even if he was there, he could have just died himself along with Mia. Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, no. Godot's just, well, whatever his name is just an idiot. We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up. She was worried and followed me into the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If you channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Quran, Misty Faye's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What? Is that true? Well, not fully. I didn't think about it if my opponent went first because they wouldn't get a battle phase. But this card still has good use in that case still. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Mia certainly seemed more than happy about how Phoenix handled things. Yeah, Mia was fine with it because, you know, she's not having a weird existential crisis about her life right now. Also, he helped save her from going to prison, right? She certainly is in no way blames her prodigy. Yeah, I guess Mia doesn't blame him at all. And I thought you meant Maya, and Maya was happy that, you know, she's not in prison for it. What? Is that true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. So, anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. Why? The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There's only 2 possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. So, well, Trite, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of doubt that you can finish this on your own. No, Nick, please don't. Maya, I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's a man who put his life on the line to protect me. And me. To protect Mia? What? What? And me too. Maya, I know that. Nick? But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Faye, your testimony, please? This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. You saw Dahlia that day. I think that's what she meant? Maybe. I mean, this whole plan... I'll get into it when we get done. I'll explain my thought process about this when we get done. All right, young lady, tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? The time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, so she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. Oh, the plan is horrible? Or is terrible, 100%? Yeah, the plan doesn't make any sense at all. These red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Ha. Things break, Wright. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? It looks like you still can't prove it. Mine is telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. The time of the murder. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you could make a mistake about that. Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. I can't tell you for sure that they were Mr. Godot's mask either. I don't get the feeling she's covering for him anymore, but press harder. But as after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help? Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time, but I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me. His life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. That blood, was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood? I think so, probably. Just at that moment, I heard a sort of soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice, so that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that? She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Struck back? How do you know that? Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sound of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood. What? You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. So then what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do. Did you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier? Yes, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. They went out? Yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What could it mean? The red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight. Maybe the mask was damaged? Or maybe it was knocked off? Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right, Trey? Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working? What could have really happened then? Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. What do you mean by just at that moment? You mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice? What? What? So then the scream came from the killer? That's gotta be it. I think Donna Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it? Then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Attempting to intervene in that fight would have been folly. Maya's no fighter either, and she didn't know what was going on. Oh no, she shouldn't have gotten involved at all. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. Sounds about right. There's still a contradiction. The knife. It's hard to say this, but that interpretation would have created an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Okay. Remember that testimony she just gave before the killer let out a scream? Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. Yeah, it's the knife. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, trite. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff. What could she have used to strike back at the killer? I mean, the dagger that she said she brought originally to use, not knowing that there was a knife inside of the staff she brought with her? Don't struck in the tree, the blood doesn't match the victim's. No, it matches his, Godot's.
Take that!
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene stuck in a pine tree. Yes, the detective found this that morning and brought it to me. Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and so managed to wound him as well.
Objection!
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim.
Objection!
No, we already know that's not the case. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Because we've learned it wasn't the victim's blood. It must be the killer's blood. The killer must have been a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. Ironically, his voice in the anime sounds nothing like his objection. Well, that's not super surprising. Nice theory, right? Order in the court. Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Ha. Let me ask you something, trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Huh? Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There's already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes? What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, right? That blood doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. What? Godot's voice is unsurprisingly unremarkable. Oh. I would have given him like a kind of a specific voice, considering he's supposed to have a damaged nervous system that messed up like his body or whatever. In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness, continue your testimony. Hold it. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya? This dagger? You said that it wounded the killer? That's right. But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with that dagger, his clothes would be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes. That solved the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple got trapped there. Ah, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Order in the court. But the witness says, well, maybe he bought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone brought a change of clothes? Or did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on him.
Objection!
That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there that late at night? After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. Ha. That's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here... Huh? Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. Mia Fey were here. Come on, Trite. Can you do it or not? Loads the judge up on smart pills? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer, but can you prove it? Have you gotten even one piece of evidence? The question is whether I can prove it or not. I don't know. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. This module's pretty random like that for me. The question is whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. Also, if he can't prove that Godot is the murderer, doesn't that mean Maya is going to be accused of being the murderer? And then go to prison for being the murderer? Which means that there's a non-zero chance that she's going to be executed? Which completely contradicts the whole point of this whole plan? I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you wanted. Ha. That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, right? Huh? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. What do I do at the time like this? Simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. These are always complete insanity. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there could have been a bloodstain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. Oh, it's on his eyes. It's underneath his mask. His mask got knocked off and then he got slashed in the face. What did you say? Hidden? Huh? This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstain on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line, the final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. The location where they say the killer hid his wound. What's this location? You say the killer hid his wound. What? Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? What? What does that mean? This one is tricky. Where's this location where you say this killer hid his wound? See before the lights out, the bell. Is it this? Is it a headpiece? There's no way it's this, right? It has to be this, though. This is the only thing that makes any amount of sense. Or rather, it's not obvious what you have to present. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense here. Worn by Lisa Mall, found in the garden of the inner temple. Found in the garden of the inner temple. This hasn't come up either. This could be like a neck thing, because she always wears it around her neck. It's one or the other. I don't know which one it is. It's either the neck or it's the head. It's got to be the head. It's got to be the headpiece. It's this, right? It's got to be this?
Take that!
Ha. I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? Well, it looks like you're proving one thing. Nothing but a fake. Okay, I guess that wasn't it. You can see Godot's neck. Yeah, that's why I figured it was the headpiece. Wait a minute. Give me one... I don't think so. A promise is a promise. What? It was fun while it lasted. See you later, Trite. What do you mean a promise is a What are you talking about? Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. The court finds the defendant Iris of Hazakura Temple. What? The accused will surrender to the court immediately to be held pending a trial. That is such an insane thing to be the final choice if you get it wrong. That... Not only did we prove that Iris was nowhere near the crime scene, that the only people it could have possibly been was Maya or Godot, and if it's not Godot, it had to have been Maya. What? Iris is the one person who couldn't have done it. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Oh my god, that's amazing. There's just so little effort put into these.
It just
like,
works.
No effort. Zero effort put into these. It's the cheapest, fastest, easily made thing they could pump out. It just worked. It absolutely does not. Unlimited penalty. Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? You got nothing, right? Okay. So we'll save here. We'll ride this one. Simple. Everything outside the box, a different angle. One place that the killer could have hidden his wound. What do you say? Hidden. Is that last one a different angle? I need to think about why there was no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. Location where the killer hid his wound. Again, this doesn't make any sense, by the way. Angle? Where's the location where you say the killer hid his wound? From the inner temple garden, one night of crime. So I mean, it can't be this then, right? Did we use this for anything? Okay. Perfect timing on that. How do I prove it's his eyes if I don't have eyes as a thing? Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to start guessing things, because, I mean, there's no real logical answer here. Wait, angle? It's not this, is it? There's no way. Taking that knight from the main gates of Dusky Bridge. To think about things from a different angle? There's no way it's this, right? I can't think of a way to give you a hint without giving it away entirely, and it's fine. There's no way, because he said I have to think about this from a different angle, and this is the only thing about the angles that made any sense, that we had to turn this upside down.
Take that!
Ah, I didn't know you were talking about it. Okay, so it's not this. Can I just give me the restart? Oh, I hate this so much. I cannot wait to be done with this. I am so ready to be done with this forever and never come back to it and never touch it and hate it. So I will hate it for the rest of my life. Just let me restart. It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on this dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. Cut by a dagger, there should have been blood stain on his clothing. There's one place that the killer could have hidden. What did you say? Hidden. This is it. My last stand. Just take a different angle. I need to think about this from a different angle. I need to think about why there was no blood stains on his clothing. And show how he hid the wound. And in line, final stop. Location where the say the killer hid his wound. It's simple, it's just a bit obtuse. Okay. Cult magazine dream. I forgot about all the weird makeup in this photo. Image is obscured by gravy. Has the victim's blood and the suspect's fingerprints on it, but it's not the murder weapon. Inside the actual weapon used to murder the victim. Oh, is it that the weapon was hidden inside of something else, so you're covering it up with something? Is that it? What's the most direct way you can show it's Godot? I mean, the knife? I mean, I could just accuse Godot, but that doesn't do me any good.
Take that!
Okay, I know you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. It's the most direct way you can show it's Godot. Okay, is it... I thought that was it. But apparently it's not him. dropping near Dusty Bridge. His blood on it came from the victim's staff. Is it like this, and it's the fact that it points to his eyes?
Take that!
Oh, I didn't know what you're talking about. Wait, why can't I do... Wait, is it him? Wait, why wouldn't it let me bring up the options? What? Does it just say the same thing either way? That must have been the correct answer, but for some reason... I think you had it before. Yeah, it must be his face? What an absolute joke. Okay, so it must be his face, but he says the same thing either way?
Take that!
Yeah, see, now we have options. Huh, I don't know what you're talking about. So he literally says the same thing no matter what? The music doesn't change? There's no way to know that you've said or didn't say the right thing? Frankly, I don't need to know. I didn't know that is you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? Huh? What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? And as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. See? That's different. Deus Ex Mia? Not as direct on this one. It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd see the whole case is solved. Oh, his eyes just exploded. That's not okay. Arrgh! Lawyer explosion? Yeah, that's the first time we've seen one of those, but... Just now. I saw her spirit in you. Huh? I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. So 2 things completely outside of his control you hate him for. Yep, he's the problem, definitely. You didn't care, you just kept living your pathetic happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. And that's what I thought. Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive. God, I hate this guy so much. Phoenix was an idiot in college, to be fair, but yeah, we had no way of knowing. No, not at all. It was me. You, yourself? Oh, good, he's finally admitting it. I was one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No, why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what was left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing right there in front of me. Huh? It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Most could have been done at that point, though? Well, in that particular moment, he could have done a lot of other things. He could have just hit her in the head with a staff and knocked her out. He could have, I don't know, he's twice her size. He could have just tackled her to the ground. Yeah, she has a knife, but that's not much. He could have brought a taser. He could have just had a police sting in place. I mean, there's a million things he could have done. The plan is idiotic. But in the moment, I guess he had very little options. Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. Huh? You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off. As a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. His plan was awful, but at that point it was too late. I mean, yeah. Literally, if he'd done anything else, he could have averted that point. But in that very specific moment, he probably could have... I mean, he chose to stab her in the body. He could have stabbed her in the leg. Like, it's all dramatics. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando? I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Wait, why did the wound start bleeding now? Thanks. Your wound. It's bleeding. Ha, did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. Huh? There must be... These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando? You do well to remember this, Maya. Only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Even a small opponent with a knife is dangerous. Yeah, but he could have stabbed her in the leg. It just has to happen this way only because it's dramatic. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant? Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I know the risk, and I was willing to cooperate, and I willingly cooperated anyway. What? And in turn, she would have fought him back, probably killing him. Who knows? I don't know. At this point, everything's magic and nonsense. I don't know. Also, I don't understand this. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Like, I don't know. Everything about this is just bizarre to me. I don't know. I can't yell at this anymore. I'm just so done. I can't wait to be done. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. Why? Just end this, please. For the love of God. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what? I don't know, being a complete terrible person who's caused nothing but heartache and trauma in the last, like, 48 hours? For no reason? For the case 5 years ago, of course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister. You only met twice. Huh? We only met twice? The first time we met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria on this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. This poisoning and betrayal are unforgivable to Phoenix. Yeah. What was it? He said that he hates poisoners and liars or something like that? And Doug Swallows was killed. No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... for those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia. I hope one day you can forgive me. Feeny. What? You mean... That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. What? Yeah, but why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why you... My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. I mean, she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already had so much to answer for, I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, but she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place? But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she could confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Huh? Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. Iris? Oh my god, whatever. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. Oh, whatever. Delia couldn't help keep up the act that long. She detests Phoenix. Well, yeah. This is the most unbelievable, nonsensical, just soap opera garbage. The twins, oh, I secretly loved you, but I couldn't because my sister, oh, whatever. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though, right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Please tell me he's going to jail forever. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright? Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim Elise DeMont. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. February 10th, 4:51 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. So I guess it's all over. Please, God, let that be the case. The way everything ended was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia? I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand, too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia? You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again. Someday, Phoenix. Wait, you... She is relatives with two mediums who hang out with him. They can hang out anytime they want. Like... Well, I don't know what he was sentenced to, but given his health is absolutely garbage, it's not impossible he died. It never stated what happened to him, though. I mean, yeah, he probably just got put on trial and went to prison at some point. I mean, technically what he did was only barely murder. Like, honestly, you could, if he had a decent lawyer, like, if he came to us and we were his lawyer, we could 100% state that, like, yeah, he killed someone who was about to do murder. That's technically a defense. You can maybe get him for, like, manslaughter or something that you could argue that he knew that the situation could go violent and didn't take steps to prevent it. It would be, yeah, manslaughter at worst. Exactly. There's no way he would get a murder charge in the States, but this is Japan America, so who knows what's going to happen. Maybe he'll be executed right there in the courtroom with a gun or something. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. Why? Why does any of this happen? What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick? Maya? I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. Other than your mom, of course. Your mom is dead, right? Like, she's dead. She was murdered by your sister's boyfriend, right? Like, we all agree that's perfectly fine. But, come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris, too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Yeesh. Just because they hang criminals doesn't mean they shoot people on sight. Well, in this world, who knows? Maya? How? How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Francesca? Still a softie as always, Phoenix, right? Excellent work, right? Uh-huh, Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francesca have actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow. But where were you, Nick? I already fell into a river, caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he lay in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francesca. I don't suppose... Oh, just... There's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry. What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. That's not true. Right, Nick? What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I was gone for good. No. Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face? Huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. You really mean it? What about you, Franzi? Did I draw you well, too? How? My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Claire. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. And you'll do it, like you promised? We're going to model for my next picture book? Franzi's... Ow! Don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? I only wish she would have made a beeline for Maya. Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Yeah, Frenzy's Whippity Whip Trip. That was a good name for a book. What was that? Hey, Pearly. Right? You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened? Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francesca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Who was hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth. I think I'm starting to understand, too. Ow. Then tell me, Phoenix, right? Wait, can I actually save before this? I think I'm like 50-50 on getting these right at the end, but I don't remember now. Then tell me, Phoenix, right? Who is Maya Fey being strong for? Well, that would actually make sense. It's gotta be Pearl. Pearl Fey. The poor kid, after all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey, so this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we've got quite the bunch here. Ow! What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary's just sort of kind of gone down by a tweeny weeny bit, but it's alright. I made a reservation at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Oh, God. Ah, pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Trace bien. Yeah, where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, Crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls? You got it. I think peanuts would be an improvement on his salary. Yeah. Oh, Maya. What's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere. Huh? I bet she just went back home. That's all. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This has never happened before. Wait, wasn't she here 5 seconds ago as Mia? Wasn't she Mia literally minutes ago? As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. Plot hole? A little bit, yeah. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls. Nick. Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Ah. Very well, Phoenix Wright, we'll go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, Wright. We won't. But where should we look? Where could Pearl have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of Pearls might have gone to. Okay. February 10th. Hazakura Temple main gate. Hazakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon. Sister Bikini. I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here. Pearly is? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Almost like there was actual movement going on in there. Pearly's not here. Ah. Maya, the hanging scroll. Huh? Someone cleaned it off. It's gotta be pearls. Mystic Maya? Pearly? Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother... That's why you came here. It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone. But how do I say this? I am still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. Huh? My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya? I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. Sister Bikini? Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Gran, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya's always in my thoughts. It's true, she'll always be with me until the day I die. Which is in about 20 minutes. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? Huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. That's the master's talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. That's... a photo? Mother? Poor kid. Well, it's Maya's now. Yeah. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. What makes us human is that we fight for others. Who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Okay. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return to time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. I guess this is back when they were kids, and it turns out Maya had also broken the statue, and the urn, and Mia had helped her put it back together. Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting. Character building? Yeah, definitely character building. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't... Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start, too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training. I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for three for when you come back. Wahaha ho ho hee hee. Alright. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but... What is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do this special course naturally. Huh? That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know? I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Sure. Guy with that? The food is terrible? Why, Phoenix? He can only channel the TV. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense for him to do special training. He has no magic. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps, too. Well, then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
I mean, I guess that's good he's objecting. Panning script and director Shu Takumi? At least I know who to blame now. I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Koran and the office manager of Wright and Koga law offices. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. What? Design/art. Tsura Ayawamoto. The art's fine.
Did it, Patrick!
So
We
true.
saved the
Mr. Nick
city!
really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with a special course all the way to the end. Why? I actually heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation. But thank you, SpongeBob. Thank you, Ika. The Phoenix is older than you, Maya. Yeah, there's that too. Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. Feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Victory screech!
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. Yes, a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more protective. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. That's gross. Don't say that. Don't invoke that into the world. That's terrible. Why did you say that? Mr. Wright, I'm once again in your debts. Thanks to you, the Treasure of Koran exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Carmo, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said I must show you what I've learned. Okay. That's an interesting series of things that you've just said out loud. Oh no? Yeah, I don't know about that. Desi and I started a company called Mass Star to Mass Consulting. We dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is, cut it out, please. Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals. That's such a weird character. Yeah, I don't know why they're so bent out on the whipping. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exonerating Don Tigre, so I lent him $500,000 as a special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise, he. Wait, what? Didn't Tigre get busted for murder? Because it's funny, I guess. I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. My grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper. Okay. I didn't care about him. But whatever. No, it's the robot lady. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We're hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Egg. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. Because it's Adam. Aw. Yeah, I mean, good for him that he found love or appreciation from his family or whatever, but I really didn't need an update on that guy. My. More since the murder, we've had so much money, I hardly know what to do. Leave magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can't really wait for Iris to come back. Wow. I can't believe it's over. Ugh. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slaps you so hard you got a nosebleed. It's almost over.
Objection!
Phoenix Wright, Ben Groman Judd.
Objection!
Yeah, Pearls is always so defensive of their relationship, even though there isn't a physical one there. I mean, they tried to explain it, even if it was a little silly. Mia? Christina Catano?
Objection!
James C. Wilson.
Objection!
Francesca Von Karma. Janet Puzo? Yeah, we didn't have more edge-tagonist. Yeah. David Chrislip? Chrislip? Oh my god. They're bringing... What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one's here to greet me? Guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper's buddy quit and now I've got no one. What kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? With all the flashing lights and switches? Like some sort of space alien. Now what am I going to do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back? I bring the edgy boo and I'm exactly, and I can't accept those. I'm afraid of something as painful as this. Hurt, oh, well, I'll never, gentleman, lady, right, I don't know why we needed that, but alright. Are we gonna do literally like every character we ever interacted with in all 3 of these, or what? I finally found something I'd love to do. Franzie's Whippity Whip trip is gonna turn the world art on its head. Should have realized it was sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I am an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Wow. Shots fired at the whole art department. Alright. Shinji Miyakami? No, they just brought old bag back for hilarity. Like, that's not bad. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge because it's like still images turned into still images, but... There's Mom. I guess, sure. Yeah, it would have been interesting to play more as edge-tagonist. Bridge to turnabout and a lawyer only cries once it's all over. Clear all of it. I got the achievement. It's over, team. It's finally over. Oh, it's over. It's over. Ugh. I don't ever have to do it again.
Did it, Patrick! We saved the city!
Woo! We sure did, SpongeBob. That last picture is why people suspect Gordo may have
Victory
died.
screech!
Oh.
Victory screech!
Double victory screeches all around it.
Did it, Patrick! We saved the
Saving the
city!
city. We're victory screeching. It's finally over. Oh my god. I would have never. The only way I could have finished this was if I was playing it on stream. But nothing is confirmed. Yeah. Sad. Sad. Yeah. So our total playtime on that, of all of this now, is 114 hours. 114.5 hours. Over 100 hours there. I mean, I guess for the value of the content, it was great. It was fantastic. This isn't for me, as I've demonstrated. I know, I understand that other people like it, like Ice the Unknown Ranger. I know you really like this. In any case, I doubt they'll bring Godot back ever. Who knows? But it's just not for me. I'm happy other people like it, and it's definitely got too much soap opera for me. I don't watch soap operas. I don't like dramas. I just don't. It's not my thing. And that's a lot of this, is dramas and like stuff for being drama's sake. So I'm happy other people like it. That's my final word on it. It's just so nice to be done. It's so nice to be done. It took us 2 extra hours to get to the ending, but we got there, team. We actually got there. Shout outs, of course, to the lurkers. You help the Twitch world go around. We always appreciate you. Anybody to check the VODs here on Twitch or check the VODs on the YouTube repository, thank you. It's always greatly appreciated. Those numbers help keep me motivated. If you need a well thought out solution, you need a thinking solution. Raven Hilbrook Inc. Thinking Solutions. Yeah, that's going to be it, team. It's finally over. I will have the plaque next week. Or actually, I think I'm going to have the plaque by Tuesday. 3 minute streaming. Do we want to raid? Yeah, we can probably do that. Yeah, if you want to go for a raid, go ahead. Give me just a second, and we can raid on over. But yeah, that'll be it for me, everyone. Hang out for the raid, and I hope to see you all back, and I hope you have a good one, whatever you're up to. And bye.